Voice TV.
Hello viewers, you're most welcome to Soaring with Eagles. My name is Pastor Joy Ninsiima, and today we have an amazing guest. He's the Chief Executive Officer of PSFU, Private Sector Foundation Uganda, Mr. Stephen Asiimwe. You're most welcome to this show, Mr. Asiimwe.
Thank you, Joy.
Yes.
Pleasure to be here.
Amen. And so, who is Stephen Asiimwe? Beyond the titles, and how would you describe your childhood and upbringing?
That's a good question. Stephen Asiimwe is a very simple Ugandan who had a very interesting childhood. I was born into a family. I'm the firstborn in a family of 7. My father and mother, Mr. and Mrs. Kwatizehi Geoffrey. My mother is British Kwatizehi. I was born in the late 60s, and I was born into a government civil service entity. My father was a banker. The worst nightmare was leaving the school that I was in and then joining a new one. And kids are sometimes not very courteous. So they intimidate you.
They bully you.
You know.
Yeah.
So you had to learn to survive. And for a young boy growing up, the best way to fit in with the guys is you have to be a good footballer. So I learned to play football, I swam, I played tennis, I did all these games. And so kids would easily pick up. And then you'd become friends. And then before you knew it, then you were moving to another town. So that way, I was able to go to many schools, and I've met so many people. I know so many people from a social perspective, and many of them have become career mates.
Yes.
We meet in government, we meet in business. Because of that, I then developed, I liked media, I liked information. So at university, I studied social sciences, but I had a passion for media. I joined the New Vision, where I worked for 10 years, 93 to 2003. And then I started my own media house. It was called the East African Business Week, which I published for, I think it was about 11 years. And because of that other background where I could fit in any place, I opened a regional outfit. So we had an office in Kenya, Tanzania, in Rwanda. We had
I used to hear about that. I didn't know it was yours.
Yeah, it was mine, with some friends of mine. And Ethiopia. So in 6 countries. I did that for 10 years, and then I got an offer from government. I then led the Uganda Tourism Board for 5 years. At that point in time, I decided to take a sabbatical leave. I'd done 30 years of work and school and things like that after my university days. And then an opportunity came at PSFU, which I have taken on. Now, in those years, I got married to a beautiful lady called Molly. We have 2 sons, Shava and Shiloh. They are wonderful kids.
Amen.
My wife is a wonderful personality. She's now a member of parliament. A woman MP for Ampara. And she's doing an incredible job. So I don't know whether I've answered your question.
Yes, you have. Very, very well. So just tell us you talked about journalism. So you transitioned from journalism to media leadership, tourism, now PSFU. How did each of them prepare you for the next? How did you, as you transitioned from one to another?
Excellent question. So, like I said, a lot of what I am is largely to do with my background. Living in different parts of the country gave me an opportunity to look at the 5 senses. We in the early 70s, we moved to a small town called Kilembe
which
was right next to a national park.
Okay.
And
what languages do they speak?
They speak Lutoro and Lukonjo.
Okay.
But we lived in a very cosmopolitan small town. Our neighbors, immediate neighbors, were Kenyans, and they spoke Kiswahili. So we learned Kiswahili. Then we had neighbors who were from the north.
Yes.
And we learned Luo. Then we had people from Bugisu. And somehow we learned the languages. But there were a lot of Bakonjo and Batoro. So I got an Mpako, a Makiki, and I spoke Lukonjo. But because we lived next to it was a mining city town. Lived next to a national park, and then we had Hima Cement, so we had Mobuku, electricity generation, we had an agriculture, prisons area. You kind of pick up different perspectives.
Yes.
Agriculture, mining, business, tourism. Then we moved to Jinja, which was an industrial town. Then we moved back to Kampala, and then Kampala was heavily business and all of that. Now, because of that, I kind of developed an instinct for development issues. And actually, in the New Vision, me and a group of people pioneered the business section of the newspaper, which then I translated into a regional business outfit. So my brain was always geared around development, tourism, impact, social development, education, sport, and that shaped what was going to be a missing link that I needed to fix. I am Mr. Fix-It.
Yeah, Mr. Fix-It.
So I fixed the information first, the renewing of the mind, but also just probably to backtrack a bit, you asked what shaped. My parents were very strong on ethics, on integrity, on hard work. They hated laziness. It was a taboo to be lazy. My dad would whip you if he found you sleeping. And then he kind of pushed us to stretch our limits. Being a banker, of course, we suffered the wrath of a mathematician.
Were you good at math yourself?
No, terrible. Terrible. I was terrible. Yeah. But I was very good with the arts.
Okay, that's great.
Later in life, I noticed I could actually be a good mathematician. Yeah. That's because I didn't take that to myself in the sense that I should have. Now, given that background and the environment we lived in, and partly also because I was the firstborn in a family of 7, I kind of became a leader in the sense that, and then I went to an interesting school called Namasagali College, which pushed us to be creative.
Were you there for the whole 6 years?
I was there for 5 years. I first went to Mwiri, Soga College for 1 year, and then transited to Namasagali. Namasagali taught us not even just think outside the box, to think no box. We stretched our imagination on the arts, on academia. That's when I started writing. And then I would write my thoughts, and then I would also speak my thoughts. It became very socio-economic. It wasn't political as much as I think many people were. But a lot of my thought process was around socio-economic impact. And therefore, to this day, even where I work now, I am an impact person. I want to see change and development in the context that we have a beautiful country with great resources, but we don't stretch our limits as much as we should.
So tell us a bit about PSFU.
Excellent. PSFU is, and you have come at a good time. We're turning 30.
Oh, 30 years.
30 years of existence. We were born in 1995.
Yes.
And we were started by a great gentleman called James Murwana, who has since gone to heaven. Yes. With the support of the president, and it was started largely to create a bridge between the private sector and the government. We operate mainly in 4 strategic mandates. The first is policy and advocacy. We do a lot of advocacy work for businesses, for private sector, and on one fundamental principle, to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. And how do you thrive? You need resources, you need training, you need capacity building, you need infrastructure, you need capital, but you also need to look at markets, you need to look at skills, and now we are talking value addition. We're also looking at linkages between the rural and the urban, and we do this through business development support. We do this through capacity building, especially now that we have young people. Uganda's population is 47 million.
Yes.
The bulk of that demographics is under the age of 35. But the people who control the economy are a minority. So we want to bridge that gap by giving people access to frameworks that support their businesses. Our motto is business growth is our business. The other thing we do is we do a lot of linkages between government, development partners, and then what we call BMOs, business member organizations. So PSFU is divided into about 14 sectors. In no order of importance. You have manufacturers, agriculture people, ICT, professional services, financial services. You have tourism and hospitality, ICT. Recently we brought in the creative sector, which is pretty much what we are discussing now. We also have private health, private education. So all the private universities, private hospitals are our members. Now every year we have an annual general meeting which brings together all these business member organizations. And in total, we have over 340, from as large as Uganda Manufacturers Association, to very small mushroom growers, beekeepers, beehive associations. There's so many groups in this country, but they are members, they have a seat, they have a voice.
They have a voice, yeah.
But more importantly, I think we are still largely an agrarian, agriculture based country. But like the president likes to say, we need to add value. You see the difference between a kilo of green raw beans, which gives you anywhere about 15,000, let's say 18,000, which is $5, to of a kilo. A kilo of ground, well roasted coffee is in excess of $10. So $10 for a value-added program product compared to $5 of that's 1 kilo if ground and can actually get you 100 times the value. So we are still getting the low end of the bargain, if you like. So our work is now how do we invest in value additions, quality, branding, packaging, and then very good markets that can then make a lot of value from a product. So the work of PSFU is number one, to open markets so that our Ugandans can do business with other countries. Two, support joint ventures with international business players. Three, technology transfer. I'm a farmer, you literally, what 100 people can do with mechanization, you just need one person to run it. Automation is the way to go. Then we are also encouraging as much people to invest in technologies, have access to cheap financing, affordable, but also longer financing periods, patient capital, if you like. And so PSFU is at the forefront. So we push for financial sustainability, but many of also our business organizations lack good governance. So we are encouraging, good professional corporate governance so that institutions are credible, they are legit, they are traceable, but they are impactful. And then, of course, we're looking at sustainability now. Lately, there's something called climate financing, green financing. We're now looking at new instruments of financing institutions. We're looking at renewable energy. The firewood is not a big thing anymore. We're looking at cleaner, faster, efficient, and affordable energy usage. So we're doing a lot of solar power. We have something called results-based financing. We're looking at the youth. We're looking at the women. We have a project called Grow, generating opportunities for women. We're lending from anywhere. The smallest loan is 4 million. the north end is 200 million. So we are saying, how do we support women to get into the business and money economy?
Yes.
And it's doing wonders because we've seen many women now registering companies and incredibly getting into the business discussion.
Wow.
So 30 years.
30 years.
There's been a lot of work. I think number 8 CEO since inception. We've had 5 chairmen. So the late Murwana was the first. Honorable Gerald Sendal was second. Mr. Patrick Mtaturi was third. Honorable Eli Karwanga was fourth. And now we have Humphrey Nzei, he's our current chairman.
Okay.
And we'll soon get into another transition.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful. So who were some of the mentors or role models who guided you along the way?
Good question. Number one was were my parents.
Yes.
Of course. Just coming out and understanding, very good role models. My dad was a strict disciplinarian.
Yes.
So he was a no-nonsense guy. My mother was a loving, the huggy type. But she would caution you in a loving manner. My dad was spare the rod, but he didn't spare. He really gave it to us.
Give it to you.
So
yes.
I'm still earning from the return on investment.
Have you done that to your children? No.
In a sense, yes, but I am a blend of both.
Yes.
I'm not too much on this side, but neither do I spare them. That was the first. The second, of course, were a group of my early childhood teachers. Mr. Yates was my headmaster in Namuga, and then Father Grimes was a serious disciplinarian also. And then, of course, church was the place where we got our spiritual true north. But then, of course, along the way, you had many influencers. I would say Gary Skinner was one of them. Growing up at KPC, Pastor Kumagum was a fantastic mentor. I liked him. And obviously now I have my pastor Patience Wagogo, who's our spiritual leader at CNC. Yeah, I think and many, neither here nor there, but just really to.
What about in the business?
In the business, in my line of business, I would say I was mentored by a guy called James Tumsime, who was initially our editor-in-chief, deputy editor-in-chief.
Yes, yes.
Then he became my chairman at TB. He was a fantastic guy. I liked him very much.
Okay.
He had this knack for business.
Yes.
And on many ways than one. And because he had also been in publishing, he owned a publishing house called Fountain Publishers. So when I went into publishing, I consulted him a lot. He was a guy who understood the media business.
Yes.
So I think that would be a guy I would really say was my A+.
Okay.
Yes.
So what was one of the biggest challenges you faced in leadership, and how did you navigate it? Or some challenges?
That's a good question. Of course, we have to understand that leadership and management are two twins from the same family, but they can be slightly different. Now, in management, it's a set of rules and procedures, and therefore management is easier to navigate. Leadership is different. Leadership requires that you bend but don't break. Leadership requires understanding, it requires patience, it requires a very strong thought process. And many times you would find people who not really measure up to that. Even myself, of course, growing up in leadership. So there's a lot of conflict, interests. Interests can be selfish or self-interest. And therefore navigating, especially when you're managing people who have different interests or even selfish interests, can be a very daunting task. But I've learned that sometimes you have to use the whip, but sometimes you have to have a listening, understanding, molding. So my biggest challenge in all of this was managing self-interest and selfish interests, and that can be very, very tough. But how you navigate that, again, is a question of consensus, and sometimes you have to employ very tough methods. In other parts, you have to be very, very understanding. You need to understand the perspective from where people come from. But I think for me, sitting with people and engaging them continuously has been my mechanism of overcoming. And then where they outrightly fail, you have to engage the hard. So it's been a journey. It's been tough. It's been very disappointing. In some cases, people accuse you of very, very nasty things. But I've also learned that truth will triumph.
Amen.
And my parents used to tell us an interesting Runyankore proverb. I don't know very many proverbs in Runyankore, our language, but the one of the few that I know, I remember very well, was they would say, that lies and wrong accusations will get up early, but the truth will get to the destination faster in the evening. Meaning that, I maybe just paraphrase it. Lately, I've learned 3 principles about information. Number 1 are facts. Number 2 are perceptions. Number 3 is the truth. Perceptions are usually what everybody seems to speak about, that then defines and shapes how people perceive something.
You or something.
Now, perceptions is a lot of branding and machinations on both ends of the scale. But a perception can be a good perception or a bad perception. Facts are real, they are measurable, but sometimes they can be distorted. But what is the best and triumphs finally is the truth. And it can combine all the others. Now, that we have suffered. I have suffered from that, especially now with all this nonsensical, sometimes nonsensical social media. But I've also learned that constant engagement, talking to people and giving your best eventually triumphs. I have a principle here. I get into office by 6 o'clock, max 6:30. And I have an open door policy. So anyone who wants to see me will come. So if you accuse me of not being there, you have to show up. Then I'm not there, or I'm there. But secondly, hard work, engagement, and treating people with courtesy, with honor. I have 2 young ladies who who clean my office.
Yes.
And I use them as a litmus. So I greet them, I check on their families. And for me, that is a standard. Not for anything, but just to say that if I can talk to these people, then I can talk to anybody. You cannot be any less better than the people I treat very well.
Exactly.
And I use that as a principle.
Wow.
Does that make me a perfect being? No. But I strive, like Paul says, I strive to attain that which God has prepared me to.
Yes.
And I think that for me is a gold standard.
Amen.
Yes.
That's great. So I want us to talk about marriage, family, and personal life.
Yes.
How has your family supported or influenced your journey?
My immediate family or my siblings?
You can talk about both.
Both, okay. So we grew up in a large family of 7.
Yes.
But also because we are an African community, we had lots of cousins, relatives coming home to live with us because they didn't have access to education. Yes. So very early on, we learned that we didn't own our bedrooms. We were always inconvenienced many times. A lot of times we had grannies, aunties coming to stay with us.
Yes.
And sometimes they would come unannounced. But we had to accommodate.
Yes.
So we were taught very early to be accommodating, even if it meant to be inconvenienced. So that was one influence, that we had to have a community spirit.
Yes.
And number two, I became a leader very early, being the firstborn of 7.
Why, you were the firstborn?
I was the firstborn,
yes.
So I had to be the leader, and they would always wipe me. What?
Yes.
They would leave us in charge.
Yes.
So me in charge, of course. And then 3, so I had to be responsible very early. So fast forward, I get my own family and my wife and children. And obviously, again, I had to accommodate my siblings because I was older than them. I had to support them.
Yes.
And so I took on a role of leadership and supporting my wife and children. Now, my wife is a politician, and I don't like politics. I don't like it. But I'm bound by my oath. Sickness, health, richer for poorer. It doesn't say politics, but with or without politics. And then you end with help me God. So during the various campaigns, I don't like it sometimes. I don't feel, but I feel obliged to support her because I know that she's there for service. So I have to give her that support. As a matter of fact, I'm leaving tonight to go and support her.
Yes.
Getting nominated tomorrow. I have so much, but I am obligated to her first, so that then I continue with that. So obviously, as a family, we have to pray together.
Yes.
Church is non-negotiable.
Yes.
My children are now involved in ministry.
Yes. Oh.
Myself, I'm one of the elders.
Yes.
I don't play as much leadership now because of my different responsibilities, but I'm always available to support. We host a fellowship for youth.
Yes.
Which we've done since our kids were 6. They are now into their 20s.
Yes.
So clearly we passed on the mantle to them.
Wow.
And so we keep in touch now, of course, with all this social media.
Yes.
We have a family WhatsApp. We check on each other every time.
Yes.
So there's a sense in which we know where, who, what, where, how everybody is. So yeah, I think that
that's
something we enjoy. Of course, the other non-negotiable is the Sunday lunch, which has been a tradition. We have to eat together. So we invite somebody. We are invited by a sibling. I think that in many ways has shaped us.
Yes.
And then we have prayer meetings for family. The Christmas is non-negotiable. Oh yes, that's another one. I had forgotten. We had to go for Christmas in the village every December 23rd. My father, he made it a law. We would live wherever we lived and drive, because my grandmother was in the village.
Right.
So we all went. We jumped into our little car and drove for Christmas to be with our grandmother. And I can tell you that's a culture we have maintained forever. Every
23rd.
From about, now of course the dates may differ, but because my dad was a government civil servant, he could only get from about 23rd. And then we drove back on 27th. Wherever, Fort Porto, Entebbe, Jinja, Kampala, we drove back on 27th, 28th. Now that has been ingrained in our culture, and we observe it religiously. I can only talk about 4 or 5 Christmases in my life where I had not had it in the village. I think the first was the 79 war. The second was the 86 war. The third was COVID. I think there was another one. I think our last born was born just before Christmas. So we couldn't travel with a very young baby. Beyond that, it's been forever Christmas.
Wow.
So that we have kept.
You have kept.
Yes.
So we have to go into a break right now, but when we get back, we'll talk about your faith journey.
Yes.
And continue with your family.
Okay.
So viewers, will be right back after this break.
Watch the Phaneroo live services on Phaneroo YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/Phaneroo Ministries International, and on Phaneroo Facebook page, facebook.com/Phaneroo. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Join the experience of our official Phaneroo TikTok channel. Share the experience with your friends. You can also listen to Phaneroo podcasts every day. Phaneroo, make manifest.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching Soaring with Eagles, and my name is Pastor Joy Ninsiima, and we are here today with the Chief Executive Officer of PSFU, Mr. Stephen Asiimwe, who has been giving us a story of how he started his journey in his career, how he grew up, and we talked a bit about his faith. But now, Mr. Stephen Asiimwe, I would like to ask you, what advice would you give to young leaders rising in business, governance, or ministry?
Good question. Of course, my personal leadership support is largely to do with vision. I think that each one of us should have a personal vision. That vision is where do you want to be in 5, 10? Where do you feel you want to be? Number 2, God has given each one of us a set of skills, a set of we call them the 3 E's. I call them 3 E's. Exposure, which is training. What schools have you gone to? What sort of qualifications do you have? What are those professional qualities you've earned? So you have exposure. Then you have experience. You've gone through a lot of things. You've worked different places. You've grown up in different environments. That's an experience. No one can take that away.
Yes.
Those 2 things combined give you expertise. You come with a set of expertise which nobody. There's a certain space that you function and you qualify to. Of course, once you now know where to go and what sort of skills you carry with you, in the Bible, if I was to borrow an analogy,
yes.
By the time David becomes king, and you get to see all of that once in a while, he says, "I've killed the bear, the lion. Who's this uncircumcised Philistine that will defy?" So he tells you, on my CV is lions, bears. So when he comes against this
Goliath,
incredible Goliath, which is about the size of a bear,
yes,
he just sees the bears he has sorted out before in his life, and he just takes him out. This guy had defied 40 days, and everybody was just scampering away. So when he shows up, his entire 3 E's come out, and he floors this guy. And immediately,
that's vision, expertise.
Exactly. He
experience.
He's been playing music.
Yes.
He's been an artist in the bushes there. So when he shows up at King Saul's place, this guy who's possessed, this guy 2 minutes, and this guy is. So everything works for him. He has capacity in the field. He's been looking after sheep. Becomes a shepherd boy. His leadership qualities, his fighting spirit, everything. So all of us have got different bears and lions we've sorted out in the past.
Yes.
And we've got certain skill set that when we show up with those skill set, I'm just looking at how you're conducting this is a culmination of previous engagement.
Exactly. Yes.
So when you show up on the stage,
yes,
set touch and go. So leaders should have a vision, but they should, as much as possible, get as many experience sets, exposure sets, and then that makes them experts in their field. So that's one, vision. And then discipline is very, very important. Discipline is hard work. It is time consciousness. It's keeping your word. Now, there's the 3 E's. I have another set of nomenclatures. I have the 3 I's.
Okay.
You must have impact. You must make a difference wherever you go. You must have impact. You must translate into some results. Number 2, you must grow that impact. When it has grown, you become an influential person. But more importantly, those 2 I's, the impact and influence, must be guided by integrity. It's a set of moral skills that help you to define who you are. Now, if you combine the 3 E's and the 3 I's, then the world shows up for you. You become a Daniel. You become so good that people cannot do without you. You have a skill that everybody wants to tap into it. You become so useful. And so a vision, but that vision must be accompanied by a mission. What is it that you have been called to do? And that's what drives you. What's your mission? Yes, you have the vision, but what's your mission? What is that driving force? I told you I come here every morning at 6 o'clock.
At 6, yeah.
And my work is to change this economy, to impact the youth, the women, to impact my staff. I have 4 pillars in my office: the customer, financial sustainability, governance, and the human being. Learning and growth. Every day is a learning process. You must learn something on a daily basis. You must add value. That value must be translated into impact. And because you're a leader, you must influence people. But how you do it with integrity. Am I perfect? No. I am not a perfect human being. I am a human being who gets perfected every day.
Every day.
And is there like 100%? No. It's learning. Even a righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets up. So I'm not a superhuman, but the grace of God that lives in me pushes me forward every day. And so I'd like to tell leaders to be available. Respect leaders, have courtesy, always make your boss shine. Always make your boss. If he has any weaknesses, cover for them. Or protect him, pray for him, guide him, so that he becomes a better person. Because one day you'll be the guy on top.
On top.
You need that support. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So what role do you believe that church and Christians should play in private sector development?
Yes, that's a good question. I think first of all, I encourage everybody to be a businessman and a woman. Everybody should do some business, because you add value, you add income, and we live in a world that doesn't have enough. Yes, so Paul is the best example. He did his ministry.
Yes.
But
tent maker.
He was a tent maker. But he just didn't become a tent maker by accident. He had to learn how to sew, cut the tent cloth, stitch, and make quality products, because there were many other tent makers. So he had to compete with them. So quality assurance, creativity, innovation. So I'm a farmer. I have a small farm, 10 acres.
Okay.
Out of town. And every Friday, early morning on Saturday, I drive out. And I am a farmer. I have both livestock and crops. I'm growing Hass avocado and coffee. And I have chicken, goats, cows, and I have some donkeys. I have turkeys. So I mix business with pleasure. I like to see nature. I told you my background was conservation, tourism. And so I'm farming. I have to make sure I take advantage of the rains.
Yes.
Where there are no rains, I'm doing irrigation because I believe that my salary is not enough to sustain what I do. But also, I had an opportunity to get land and make use of it, and so I do that as a business, both here and our family home, the country home.
So are we able to balance all these things? Very busy here. You're here by 6 a.m. What time do you leave to? 8 p.m.?
I have a problem with the jam here in town. Too much. Yesterday I did 2 hours in a jam, but I tried to go home earlier, but it cost me 2 hours. So I now go after 8 o'clock.
So the farm, of course, is...
The farm is 1 hour away. So
it's 1 hour away.
It's in Kachiri.
So that's the weekend.
That's the weekend gig, yeah. That's what I do. But again, I'm having a challenge balancing. That's where my challenge is.
Yes.
Still a tricky one. Because a lot of the... Because where I sit, I'm a CEO of a large business member organization. So you get invited every day. You are with lawyers today, tomorrow you're with manufacturers, you are with traders, you are visiting business delegations, you have state banquets, you have women groups, youth groups. So every day, everybody is pulling at you. That said, of course, you have to learn to delegate. You delegate, but sparingly. You don't delegate everything. Because over-delegation, in management, we say, over-delegation is relegation of responsibility. It has to be balanced. But also, we want to get many people into the formal economy so that once they are formalized, strong businesses make strong business associations. Strong business associations make strong private sector. Strong private sector makes a strong economy. The president has given us a challenge. He wants a 10-fold growth from $50 billion to $500 billion. And it is private sector led. So I have a challenge, I have a vision, I have a mission, I have a team which has to drive, and then I have the constituents of the private sector. But I also have my personal life and my spirituality and my family. It's
right.
They say walking on a rope. It's a tight balance, if you like. But every day I ask God for guidance.
So let's talk about your faith journey.
Yes.
When did you give your life to Christ?
I gave my life to Christ on the 3rd of April, 1992. It was Eid, a Friday. I had walked through a series of different near-death situations. I was a student at university, our time. And so we used to do a lot of those Angenois trips, Kana 110, blah, blah, blah. So there was this one incident where we went to a cousin's wedding in somewhere on the beach in Gaba. And I had a fight with a soldier, and he pulled out a gun.
You don't look like anybody.
That's the...
Even look like someone who would be caught in an altercation.
Well, of course, they say that I'm the worst sinner saved by the best savior.
Amen.
So there's a whole transformation story. So I went out that night. At about 3 a.m. I had a fight with this soldier who pulled a gun and almost killed me. And then there was my mother used to pray for me. She's a very prayerful woman. She's a revival, East African revival, pretended as a Christian. So she used to pray. And then sometimes I would hear she'd say, but you people, God is a good God. He is going to save you even from the worst of circumstances.
Yes.
So that incident triggered a change in my thoughts, my worldview. And the second incident, which was almost, I think, what pushed me over the bar into salvation was, again, we had an event where we went into one of those late evenings, and on our way back, we were in a crowded van heading to Makerere University. And then we narrowly survived the train, the crossing Golobi in the industry area. So it was a near-death experience. So when we got to the university, I just remember that train coming for us and the driver just literally passing. So when I got to the university in March, something started working me. And there were students at the university who used to come and preach to us as in Mitchell Hall. So they would come and take us for those evenings. But so we went for holidays the next week, and through the engagement of some two good friends, one who's now the Vice Chancellor of Uganda Christian University.
Who's that?
He's called Professor Aaron Mushenjezi.
Okay.
And another guy who's the current Bishop of South Ankole Diocese, Bishop Nathan.
Oh, Nathan.
Asiimwe.
Okay.
I visited them in their house in Barara High School. That time my family had moved to Barara in Ruharo. My father was now entering retirement, so we moved to our home in Ruharo, not very far from us. And then I just gave my life to Christ in their house. It was 3rd April, Friday, Eid. It was Eid day for the Muslims. Even on Eid, you get saved.
So you
That's when I walked my journey, 93 in Barara. I came back, joined the fellowship at Makere.
Okay. The scripture union and also
CU, Christian Union.
Yes.
Christian Union was in secondary. The university became CU, Christian Union.
Oh, Christian Union.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they said the rest is history.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
I joined KPC then.
Yes.
In 93. And then up to 2006 when the patients called us to partner with her.
Oh, did you say you were in Watoto a bit?
Watoto came later, but it was KPC.
Yes, KPC, yes. KPC, yes.
KPC. Yes. I left when it was still KPC.
Yes.
And then a few years later it became Watoto. But I walked that journey from 93 to 2006. And I've been in CNC.
You've been in CNC.
Yes.
So you serve?
Yes, I'm an elder. I work as an elder. We support the pastor and the leadership. And occasionally I speak. But like I said, the responsibilities now are between travel, work, farming, but I always also show up at church. I try at least once in 4 weeks to be there.
Yes.
Yes.
So what would you like to say to Ugandans watching, especially those who feel called to leadership? There are many youth watching you.
Yes.
Yes.
I think service is not about office. I think service is about station. To serve wherever you are there, but serve with excellence. That principle will take you everywhere. It is not about the office, it's about the station. The station means where you are stationed. So serve there. So I remember when we had just joined KPC at the time, we joined the youth fellowship. And then I became the spokesman. The one who used to write the newsletters. There was no social media. But I was like the spokesman of the group. And I would be the MC, I would be the Kayungiti, the guy who pushed. That was the lion and the leopard.
Yes, the lion and the bear. Yes, yes.
But my best examples of youth or young people, I like to use three if you like. There's David,
Daniel.
There was Daniel and Joseph. And so I remember Joseph was youth, then he joined Potiphar, he became a prime minister. He did not change, he was the same Joseph. And I remember the Bible clearly saying in Genesis that and God was with Joseph.
Yes.
In the pit.
Yes.
At Potiphar's house and in service as a prime minister. But number two, he was diligent. Now, Daniel talks about Daniel was a man who excelled. He was a man who lived in excellence. But David was a man who lived in diligence. He was very diligent, whatever. And so those are for me good examples. So the advice I give is be diligent in your station.
In your station.
And the more you are diligent and serve, you will always find favor. Always find favor. Even in the worst, people say, but there was this guy.
Even in
when we were in prisons, you know, he sorted us out. Then Potiphar, I think in his thinking, said, that boy left my place. But you remember in the Bible, it says that Potiphar's house prospered. So there's something you bring. When you're a diligent person, when you're disciplined, diligent, trustworthy, courteous, well-meaning, favor follows you. So people look to office. No. Look to station. Be diligent where you are. And that set of skills and the ease, the eyes, impact, influence, integrity, exposure, experience, and expertise, they follow you wherever you go, the station. And that, don't be surprised when the president is speaking, prime ministers, and nobody knows them before, or vice president, because he probably had seen their work before.
Yes.
And I think that that's not very difficult to find out. It's not difficult to find out a good person. You have a set of 10 workers, but you always know the guy who does very, very well.
Very well.
Yeah.
Wow. So we've come to the end of the show, but before we close, I would like you to look into the camera and give your parting shots.
Wow, I think this has been a good
yes, it has.
Experience. It's given me good exposure. And I think I'll carry the expertise. But I want to say that the majority of the people in Uganda, in the world now, we have 8 billion people, the bulk of which are young people. Be diligent, work hard, be faithful, be honest, put in your best in something, and office will follow you. But be diligent in the station you have been given.
You have been given.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So viewers, I'd like to thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, may the Lord bless you, expand your territories and borders, lay his hand upon you, and keep you far away from evil. Bye-bye.